Hello, hello, and welcome back to Cleaning the EC Way. If you are new here, welcome. We are so happy that you are joining us. Today, we're going to take you along as we clean, and as we are cleaning, we're going to do a little story time where Cody and I tell you about our worst cleaning experience. We hope you guys enjoy watching us clean and hearing our stories. But before we get started, we do need to let you know that today's video may be disturbing to some viewers. When I was a teenager, one of my good friends and I thought cleaning would be a good summer job, and we ended up getting a job with a big chain cleaning company. Every morning we would go into the office, we'd get all of our cleaning supplies and a yellow binder with all of our clients for the day. The office manager would talk to us if there were any special instructions. The owner was usually in his office and rarely would pull us to the side about any of our jobs. This day, he pulls us to the side and he had explained that one of our jobs was going to be a move-out clean. So in case you don't know, in a move-out clean, what you're going to do is you're literally going to clean the entire house from top to bottom. You're going to do, of course, your typical regular cleaning of a home, but you're also going to dust the edges of all the walls, clean inside and outside of all of the cupboards. You're going to edge vac any room that has carpet, clean all the moldings and doors, inside and outside of the fridge, all the shelves in the closet, vacuum all of the heating vents, and clean the window tracks. So him pulling us to the side probably should have been our first hint. He did tell us that we didn't have to clean everything and that the carpets, when he was there just the day or two before, had just been cleaned and that they were cleaning out the HVAC system. As we pulled into the condominium, we found the home, and as we were pulling up, there was this woman standing outside. We got out of our car and we kind of noticed she had like this somber demeanor about her, but it kind of felt forced. And so we didn't want to judge. We didn't know what was going on. We assumed she was the daughter of the homeowner. She then walked us in to show us the home. We walk in and there's this foyer that leads straight to a kitchen. To the right and behind the kitchen was a family room. And as we're walking, she mentioned, oh, you guys, don't have to vacuum the rooms. They had just been cleaned. And as we walked left of the kitchen and down a hall, she started to show us a bathroom and a bedroom, and we started to notice the smell. And, we'd been in homes that had smells before, so we didn't think much of it. And at the very end of this hallway was a door. And as we got closer to the door, we started to notice that smell was getting stronger. And this was for the primary bedroom. And as we got into the primary bedroom, we both noticed that the carpet had completely been removed and that the subfloor, parts of it, had been replaced. And that is when the woman looked at us and said, and this is where they found the homeowner. My friend and I looked at each other with bug eyes and then back to the woman because she obviously thought that we had been told what she was about to tell us. She then proceeded to explain to us what we should have been told by the owner of the cleaning company in the morning. She explained to us that she was not the daughter of the homeowner and that she worked for a local school. She told us the couple had left everything to this school in their will. She then told us a little bit about the homeowners. The homeowners were an elderly couple, just the two of them, and they had no children. One had actually passed away a few years prior, leaving the other alone. There was somebody, I guess, who would stop by and check in now and then, but this person had gone on a lengthy vacation. The neighbors had noticed that the garbage cans hadn't been taken in for a few weeks, and this actually sparked some interest because the homeowner was very on top of getting those garbage cans inside each week. So they called and they had a wellness check done. And this is when the police discovered that the homeowner had passed away. I do need to say that this was the middle of the summer, and the state we live in typically has temperatures in the 90s during the summer. This poor person had a heart attack and they fell in the middle of the bedroom floor. And this is where they laid for 2 weeks before they were discovered. I have to say, the smell of an animal like a deer on the side of the road is nothing compared to a human. I will not explain what it smelled like, but it was the worst smell I have ever smelled in my entire life, and it has forever been ingrained into my memory. After showing us the primary bedroom, she then took us into the bathroom. And as we're walking around, I'm noticing there's a lot of things here and there that had price tags on them. And she said, "Oh, don't worry about those. These were just left over from the estate sale." What? I could not believe that people came into the home and bought things with that smell. And the day before we had come was the day that they were trying to fumigate the air ducts. And you guys, somebody had already purchased the home. So after she showed us the entire home, she ended up leaving, and my friend and I were not only disturbed, but we were also young. We were teenagers. And the owner of the company we worked for just sent us into what potentially was a haunted house that somebody died in and stayed in there like that for weeks. The feeling we had was so unnerving. We called the owner of the company to talk to him because we were both very upset, and we wanted to try to find out why he didn't mention this in the morning. He actually said that he was worried you guys wouldn't go clean if he had. Yes, send somebody older, send somebody more mature. The majority of the people that worked for the company were old enough to be our parents. So he said he didn't think it would smell because, when he was there a few days before, they were fumigating the vents, but he would go ahead and buy us some masks to help with the smell. So as we were waiting for him to get there, we just started cleaning the kitchen. We were done with the kitchen and he still hadn't showed up. Then we went to the family room and there were, a lot of dead bugs. There were dead spiders. The spider webs are crazy on the walls. And of course, there were a few dead bugs in the sliding glass door track. But as I was cleaning the floorboards next to the vent, the smell was just coming up and hitting me so strong into the face. Like you couldn't smell it unless you were right on top of that vent. So we finally get done with that, and the owner finally arrives and he gives us some face masks. And he says, "Here's $20, go buy yourself some lunch." So we get the masks on, and it doesn't do any good because at this point, the smell had already gone into our clothes, into our nose, anything. But we still tried, and it was hard to breathe with that mask. We went to the master bedroom, and I will say that we did not clean as good as we normally would. We wanted to get the heck out of the room and away from the smell. The bedroom had a sliding glass door. So my friend started working on the window, and I went to the sliding glass door. And what I'm about to tell you is going to ruin bugs for you. So, of course, you're going to expect to see some carcasses of some flies. The TV makes you think that dead bodies all have flies and larvae. And yeah, there were a few in those hundreds of dead bugs in the track of the sliding glass door. But the majority of the dead bugs, you guys, were ladybugs. So other than the smell, that is one thing that has stuck with me ever since, is ladybugs. So we ended up cleaning the basement, and we were avoiding the room that was right below the primary bedroom. And the smell down there wasn't as bad. It was, of course, it was bad in the basement compared to upstairs, but it wasn't that bad until we got into the bedroom right below the primary bedroom. And we were thinking, oh, it's not so bad. We hurry and do what we're supposed to do. And then we got into the closet. And, we had to use a stepladder to get some of the shelves. And the higher up you went, the worse the smell got. We were so grateful to finally be done with this clean. We finished, we went home, and I ended up running to the laundry room, stripping down to my bra and panties, threw my clothes in the washing machine, and I washed them more than once to get the smell out. I then got into the shower and I shampooed my hair and I washed my body over and over again because I could still smell the smell. I get out. I finally was like, there's nothing I can do. I get out, and that's when I realized it had burned its way into my nostril hairs. And I felt like I would smell like this for the rest of my life. So that is my worst cleaning experience. And I will say that to this day, it's something that I am never going to forget.
I was in my first year cleaning. My employer just took over a branch for a well-known cleaning company in the area. He was brand new to the operations, and we were short on staff, so my boss had to come to jobs with me starting out. At the beginning, I had a habit of people-pleasing and telling myself that things weren't as bad as I imagined it. This was about when COVID started rampaging life. My boss and I got into this house, and upon entrance, I'm familiar with the smell of rodents. I had about 2 rats at one point in my life, and when I cleaned their cage, there's just a distinct smell, and that smell hit me so strong, I knew this house had a problem. It's a specific smell, and if you've had small rodents, I am sure that you know what I'm talking about. I was lying to myself that I was capable of doing this cleaning. I didn't want to let my boss down, and I felt like I needed to do a good job. There's been a lot of times where I underestimate how hard the work will be. This was one of those times. Because COVID, we were in the habit of wearing masks to work, which made me feel better about the air quality. We walked into this place, and my boss and I are having nonverbal communication. We're just looking at each other. What are we witnessing? He began doing the walkthrough with the landlord about what needed to be done around the house, while I'm just trying to figure out where to put our equipment. The floor was filthy. I mean, it was caked with mud, dead bugs everywhere, brown sludge. I had to lay out some towels just to put our stuff down. Looking around in the window tracks, on the banisters and the ledges were piles of rat poop. The smell was so nauseating that I tried to take shallow breaths. I felt a little safer though since I had my mask on. That's about when my boss came back with the landlord, and I was shocked that the landlord mentioned the buyer was already here and made a bid. I personally would rather burn the house down and start over, but you do you. As we are setting up, my boss pulls me out and we have a short conversation about what my thoughts are on the situation. What I didn't tell him was the truth. I heard that rat urine is toxic, and I am worried for my health here. What I did tell him was I wanted to try and help this client however I could. Going back inside, my boss is briefing me on the client's priorities. The major one was the fridge. I've deep cleaned so many fridges, I was confident that I would be able to help there. I'm also noticing lots of mud and muck on the walls, greasy oil fingerprints around the corners and light switches, and I kid you not that his response, "Don't worry about those things, I'll just slap some paint on there." Something in me was screaming that this was so wrong. That dirt doesn't just disappear. It's still there even if you cover it up. So my boss started doing the high dusting like we are trained to do at the start, and I decided to tackle the fridge since that's the first thing the client mentioned. I put on my latex gloves, opened the fridge, and was holding back my horror with the disgust of dead bugs, rat poop, questionable sludge. I again was grinning and bearing it though. I felt that once I got it cleaned, I was doing my part to help the world. This fridge was from the depths of hell. It was filthy. I was keeping my optimistic outlook. I had my tools, and I was going to make this look great. I started using a spatula, scraping layers of thick brown sludge off the shelving, pouring it into the garbage. I'm making very slow progress. It's not till I get a fourth of the way done that my attitude starts shifting from I've got this to I've done this for so long, I'm already knee deep in it that I have to keep pushing through. The fridge isn't even done and it's been like 2 hours. My mind is racing with the fact that I'm only halfway done with the fridge, let alone there's still a whole house to get done. I wanted to show that I could do a good job, but now I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling trapped. I'm really struggling with this fridge. I haven't even got to the top of the freezer yet. And I open that, and it's exactly how everything else in this house has been. It's just disgusting. Is it poo? Is this food? Is this going to kill me? I start scraping it out, and I'm hating everything. I want so bad to tell my boss that I want to leave. I'm still trying to do my best, but I'm noticing so much wrong with this fridge that even if I get it to look shiny and new, I know that there's still some sludge inside places that I can't reach. I know there's dead things in the ventilation. I know this fridge is going to the next person that buys this apartment. This is where I decided I couldn't be a part of what was happening. I felt guilty for knowing that this fridge needs to be tossed out. It was beyond saving at this point. I don't think anyone should own that fridge, let alone this apartment. My boss was also at the point where he wanted to leave, so I told him I'm not sure we should be there. I think we both had a sigh of relief that this was a mutual feeling. We packed up pretty quickly and drove away, and even though I was wearing gloves, I felt dirty. Like I was constantly wanting to bathe. I wanted to wash my hands constantly after that. I didn't feel clean for a while. My boss should have gotten us out of there sooner. But we were both new, and I don't blame him. You learn what's acceptable with more time and practice, and it becomes easier to gauge how long jobs will take once you have the experience. You don't need to say yes to everything. When it comes your way, listen to your gut, guys.
You get those red eyes. Nugget.